The Bharatiya Janata Party and the Mahavikas Aghadi released their respective manifestos today. While there is a party on one hand, there is an alliance on the other hand. But BJP is, of course, seen as the big brother in the Mahayuti, which is why their manifesto becomes so crucial. Although the manifesto by their other partners in Mahayuti, that is Shinde Sena and Ajit Pawar faction of NCP, was already out last week or a few days ago. Today's manifesto shows the mood of Mahayuti. Well, let's talk about the Mahayuti or BJP's manifesto first. Amongst the several things that they've promised, many are on expected lines. Let us try and look at the more important ones. Of course, Devendra Fadnavis, while speaking to the press, talked about how there are 25 pointers that they'll be looking at, but a few stand out when you look at this document. Firstly, farm waive loan, farm loan waiver. Now, in this particular aspect, the Mahayuti, as a whole has not really put forth any amount that how much a loan will be waived. They've just talked about it a little broadly, although they speak that they'll be waiving off as much as they can, but then a number would have surely helped, but no number has been made public as of yet by the Bharatiya Janata Party or the other allies in the Mahayuti. When you talk about the Ladli Bahin Yojana, now on expected lines actually, limit of Maji Ladli Bahin Yojana has been increased from 1500 rupees to 2100 rupees. I say it is on expected lines because the other two partners also did the same thing in their respective independent manifestos, which were released a couple of weeks back. Now, a pension to the old people, to the senior citizens has also been increased and has been made to 2100. It was earlier 1500. Now, more importantly, one aspect or one area where the entire Mahayuti government received a lot of criticism was lack of job creation. And it is a multi-dimensional debate. Firstly, there was consistent attack on the government about how, the government in Maharashtra was taking a lot of businesses, a lot of corporations, a lot of opportunities away from the state, specifically to Gujarat. And secondly, how it was depriving the youth here in the state of jobs. Now, Bharatiya Janata Party in their manifesto have talked about creating as many as 25 lakhs jobs. And they've also talked about which are the areas they'll be looking at while creating these jobs. This is where Devendra Fadnavis focused on certain key sectors, while talking to the press. He talked about sectors like artificial intelligence, robotics, aeronautics, and also about space. These are the sectors where he believes that not just can Maharashtra produce, a lot of good students and good professionals, but Maharashtra as a whole can also become a hub of especially artificial intelligence for India in the coming years. Now, talking about farmers, as we started talking about them in the beginning, right, how loans have been waived off, but as an add-on to it, the Mahayuti government is also, will also take efforts if elected to power to reduce the electricity bill, which has already been reduced by them, according to Devendra Fadnavis. They'll be promoting the solar energy, at war footing, just to bring the electricity bill to a lower dimension as far as the entire equation of electricity is concerned in mostly the rural parts of the country. And another debate that was there making a lot of noise since in last 2 months was about the fall of Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj statue. And as a little counter to that, we are seeing that the Bharatiya Janata Party's manifesto talks about how they'll be naming a committee which will be responsible for conserving several forts in here in the state of Maharashtra. Conservation of these forts will be the primary responsibility of this committee. More importantly, there is one term here in this manifesto which stands out, and that is the skill census. The Congress party and the Mahavikas Aghadi has been talking about caste census, but as a counter to that, we see the Bharatiya Janata Party talk about skill census, where they will be promoting and identifying, or rather an intervention will also happen at several, at several ventures, at several aspects of different jobs and of different professions here in Maharashtra, and people with the required skills will be promoted for professional activities. Now, talking about the Mahavikas Aghadi's Mahavikas Aghadi's Maharashtra Nama, that is what they're calling it. Sankalp Patra is the name given by the Bharatiya Janata Party to their manifesto. So in Maharashtra Nama, we see that the fundamentals are pretty much the same to the panch that was introduced by the Congress party, a few days ago at at the BKC rally, where they talked about, increasing or rather introducing a Mahalakshmi Yojana, wherein they'll give 3,000 rupees to all the women above the age of 18, about how they'll make bus travel free for the women here in the state. And they also talked about insurance up to 25 lakh rupees and, giving 4,000 rupees to unemployed youth of the country until they find a job. Now, as an add-on to this, we are seeing that there are certain important factors which have also been introduced in this detailed manifesto, which is called Maharashtra Nama here by the Mahavikas Aghadi. They talk about this entire manifesto can very easily be divided into 2 to 3 parts. Firstly, it talks about the activities that the entire alliance plans to undertake if it is elected to power in the first 100 days, and that is where women empowerment, naming a committee for the safety of children in school, and making sure that loans for farmers are waived off up to 3 lakh rupees is considered, and even for those who make a timely repayment of loan, and a compensation or an add-on of 50,000 rupees will also be done from the government if they are elected to power, of course. So you see that there is a little difference between how the Mahayuti is approaching the particular election and how the Mahavikas Aghadi is approaching it. The second important pointer in the Mahavikas Aghadi's manifesto is the vision that they're putting forth. The Mahayuti talked about Vision 2029, that is the vision for the next 5 years for the state. Mahavikas Aghadi, on the other hand, talked about Maharashtra 2030, where they said that in line with the United Nations development goals, where they'll not just look at helping Maharashtra develop as a strong economy, about how they'll try and increase the number of industries here, but they've also highlighted the fact that they'll be focusing on the index, about the, say for example, human development index, about happiness index. There is a mention of the LGBTQI plus community in this manifesto. There is a mention, or rather a big portion of this manifesto talks about the urban development, and in the urban development there's not just a mention of the infrastructural development, but also about sustainable development of the cities here in the state. And this especially becomes important because of the complaints that the residents here in Maharashtra, across the different cities in Maharashtra, are having about the condition of roads here in the state. So these are the fundamental differences and pointers from both the manifestos which have been made public here by the 2 major forces in Maharashtra just a couple of weeks before the election. Which one of this will be accepted well by the people and which will be rejected outrightly is something that we'll have to wait and watch out for. With camera person Mahesh Halwai, this is Anuj Raide reporting for NDTV.